I did a little bit of cleaning in this oil valley, I call it like that. I'll show you a little bit closer look the condition of intake valves on driver's side. And as you see, I took the lower intake manifold out. I'll show you how I did that on the other side. Number 5, 6, 7, and 8. And this is our lower part of intake manifold. These flappers are pretty dirty too, so I'll clean them as well. And I pulled this lower part of intake manifold with one injector including. I will obviously reseal this one, all of them, and obviously replace these rubber seals. These flappers are actuated by this vacuum actuated mechanism, so you can disconnect it here by pulling on this lever and then actuate them manually and clean them from the front and from the back side as well. So let's put this one aside, and also I pull this out to get it a good clean for each cylinder. Let's do the passenger side. Just for the record, what I disconnected while removing the lower part of intake manifold is not this one, but this vacuum hose. There is a T. One side of that T goes on the switch, vacuum switch line. I'll show you the detail later. And this side, closer to me, is connected to that vacuum line going to the lower part of intake manifold. This white T was connected from this side to the lower portion of intake manifold for the runner, and the other side, I'll show you the detail where it goes right now. This is that white T, and this side of the T is connected to this 90-degree angle rubber elbow, which is then connected to this vacuum switch or vacuum actuator or whatever it is here. I will cover these intake ports with a lint-free cloth, and as you saw, that one injector came out, so I will cover that gap as well. Always trying to use something on open connections for fuel or vacuum. This is my paper tape, just avoid any dirt coming inside of it. I will tape this vacuum hose as well. Now I will disconnect every wiring going into this area. Just be very careful on this wire. That's a temperature sensor. And we disconnected this connector already from the switch on the intake manifold. So this is done already. Try to remember the routing of these vacuum pipes or vacuum hoses. So it goes below these electrical wires and below the top wire from the knock sensor, from the front knock sensor actually. So let's use the pig again and just pull on this wire. This is out. Put this aside. This is a knock sensor wire, front one, and there is also connector on that vacuum switch, so we can disconnect it now or pull the vacuum switch out and disconnect it after. Depends what you prefer. And voila, disconnected. So now only two wirings here are knock sensor wirings. So the top one is the front one, the bottom one is the rear one. And now everything should be nice and loose. Just one zip tie is holding this harness to a knock sensor wire. So I'll cut the zip tie off. Everything should be nice and loose, and remove the whole wiring which goes to the rear side of the engine with this big connector out. And now the area is way more cleaner, way more visible what to do next with cleaning and walnut blasting and stuff like that. So let's do the same thing on the other side. So let's get the party started. First I'm gonna disconnect all electrical. I will disconnect the fuel pressure switch or regulator from here. Put a little flathead screwdriver in here. Pry on the top. And with a plastic trim tool, try to pry on that connector. It should slide right out. Just like that. Now injectors. Same thing. I'm gonna use little or small flathead. Pry on this tab gently and get with your trim tool underneath that connector and try to pry it towards you if you're standing like me. It comes right out. Just like that. The next one, a little click. Just be gentle on that tab. Wiggle it out. Next one. Some of them are more stubborn than the other. Okay, 4 injectors disconnected, and this wiring harness is pretty much free, so I put it aside. That was everything electrical. Now let's talk about the vacuum. So this actuator is already disconnected, so vacuum, no problem. And now we have to remove a couple bolts on top and remove the lower part of the intake manifold. But to do that, we have to disconnect the fuel line to this fuel port. So that's bottom nut is 17 mil and the top is 19. Always hold the one on top, and now we can loosen the nut. Now you can do it with your hand only. My engine is tilted to the front, so I'm not worried about any extra fuel leaking out of this port. On the bottom I have a bucket where every single thing goes in, but you might put the rag underneath and catch that extra fuel. So now this is disconnected, and one more fuel line is on top of the high fuel pressure pump. I have disconnected this connection already. There is just paper tape around it. I'll leave it there for now. And now let's remove 5 T30 Torx bolt on top and 4 T30 on the bottom. And I will remove it crisscross. I do always only quarter of turn. And now I can do full turns. And be careful when you're using your tools. This part, this plastic part of the intake manifold, the lower portion, has some damage from the tools. So it's not nice round plastic, but somebody chipped that little piece of plastic out. I'll show you how it looks like. So this is in detail. As you see, there are some missing little portions of that intake. The second one is not too bad. Third one, there is a little piece missing, and the fourth one also right at the end. And just to make sure we know which bolt goes where, because there are two different types. The one which is longer goes on top or the outside of the engine, and the one which is shorter goes to the inside. Also, these shorter ones, there are only 4 of them, longer ones 5, and they have different bolt heads. One is a little bit smaller in diameter than the other, but it's a little bit thicker. And now the fun part, everything is disconnected, electrical, vacuum, fuel lines, fasteners. Now it's time to pull this thing out. I'll show you how I clean this valley between the cylinder head and the lower portion of the intake manifold. So I will try to avoid any dirt going inside of my cylinders. So let's take a quick look. So I think it's pretty clean for the most part. I try to do my best. So now let's lift this thing up. First you can grab it from the top and try to rock it sideways, just like that, just to hear the little click. So wiggle it just gently, don't have to pull too hard. And it's time to use your plastic trim tools What we're gonna do, we're gonna put the trim tool just below the aluminum side of this bracket. And the cylinder head. Just here, leave it there. Try to pull on this intake part or lower intake part towards you. If you're standing just above the valve cover on the side of the engine, so you can open the gap for this plastic trim tool. The first one is in place. The second, so you can see what I'm doing, is going in here, exactly at the spot where you remove the bottom bolt. So let's put it in there, leave it there, use another one. Same thing, between the part where the bolt was sitting before, the bottom bolt, and the cylinder head. So put another one there, just like that, and one more on the fourth and last bolt, just like that. And we can wiggle this thing out by pushing it towards the inside of the engine and back. If it's not going, it's because those injectors are still holding onto that fuel rail. So it might be a little bit difficult, but there is nothing else to do. Just to pry on it gently, one side or the other, or the front one, and just try to go back and forth, rock it. When it's still not going, you can use this side of the trim tool, get underneath and try to pull on it sideways, just like that. Now I'm gonna use the trim tool on the other side and go back and forth from one side to another. I have to say this side is a little bit more stubborn than driver's side. I'll try to press on the rear side and I feel it's going on that side. So let's remove those trim tools and try to pry on each side. Voila! There is a little bit of fuel leaking. It's okay, like I told you, I have this bucket on. So the lower portion of intake manifold is out. And if I flip it over, no injector came with it. So injectors are still in the cylinder head. So I will show you these air distribution flappers. Not really clean. This one is actually looking pretty dry. The first one was oily, and oily. And if you look at those injectors, 1, 2, and 4 have this blue seal still on, while number 3, the seal is in that lower intake manifold. Let's take a look on those intake valves. Let's start with cylinder number 4. That's pretty much mess. Number 3. Number 2. And number 1. So it's time to get them a good clean for both sides of the engine. The last thing to remove is just 2 knock sensors on each side of the engine, and I'll try to remember the routing of these wires. So this is driver's side, goes straight, the front one is on top, the rear one on the bottom, and the passenger side there is a little loop on the rear sensor going on top, and a little loop on the front knock sensor on passenger side going on the bottom. To these connectors, and to take them out there is T30 Torx, and I believe this is M14 triple square. And after the walnut blasting is done, I will remove this vacuum canister from top, so I have more access to those valleys and clean that part of the engine nicely. There is a couple of T30 Torx bolts to remove for this fuel line. So one, second in the corner, the third on the oil filter housing, and that's about it. As you see, there is walnut blasting media leftovers from my walnut blasting I did the other day. I'll show you a couple pictures so you can see the stage 1, 2 and 3.
This is the first picture I took just after I removed the intake manifold, and little short footage of my playing with my picks, screwdrivers. So there was a pretty much the main dirt, all that crust buildup to be removed manually before I use my walnut blaster. And this way I just want to keep my media clean as possible. This is a picture of the stage when I was done with manual cleaning, and this is my homemade walnut blasting adapter, which I might make a video about how I build it. It's pretty simple. As you might see, there is just some plumbing fittings. And the last picture I want to show you is the final stage. So it's after walnut blasting, and actually that walnut blasting adapter worked pretty well, so I might really make a video about it.
But now my focus is on removing this vacuum canister and clean this valley, and also put the engine to the lock position so we can take care about the timing, but that's another video. So let's remove this vacuum canister first, and that will open up the whole valley, as I call it, for cleaning. So there are a few T30 Torx, one is in the middle and two are over here, and there are three same type of bolts, so same length, same size, everything same. Let's remove this thing out of our way. Also with this vacuum switch we can inspect it later. The whole valley opened up for you, and I can actually remove my NOx sensor from the driver's side and on the rear side. So that's about it. But as always, I will put those three fasteners back where they belong, so I won't lose it. Today we're gonna touch, as I call it, Pandora's box, timing. We're gonna reseal all these oil leaks, so we need to put this engine to a locked position, and now we can remove the pump. Be careful, there is this gasket. And the sequence is you go from the outside to the inside, top, bottom and middle. Voila! The engine doesn't look too bad at all. I'm pretty impressed for the mileage of the car. Camshaft lobes look pretty decent, like they're almost like brand new. And voila! This side is also very clean. Okay, in this area we see nothing. Alright, that's funny maybe. Now we can use the locking tool to lock these camshafts. Well, obviously you have to have some tools to work on cars, and we're gonna use this part of this set. Once we check on those two marks, they line up against each other, and remove this cap, that's M8 Allen key. You can see there is little opening, that's in the crankshaft. So this locking tool, those bolts goes into these threads. This flat spot and this flat spot, intake and exhaust camshaft, are not parallel, and I won't be able to use this locking tool. We have to open camshaft cover and see what is happening there, and the bottom one is this much higher, so those camshafts have to come back a few degrees, and there is no problem on this side. 8, 7, 6 and 2, 1. So I used my knife and the mallet. I found the groove or the mating point very gently to open this thing up. And again, let's take a look on the inside. It's pretty clean. Now one thing left to do is open up the main timing chain, and to do that we have to remove the flywheel and we have to remove oil filter housing as well.